NCAA basketball totals for Friday, November 25th. We got 4 games on the card today. We're just going to go ahead and dive right in. Don't forget to check out SBR for all the sportsbook reviews, sign-up bonuses, sportsbooks you should avoid, numbers across the board. It's all there at SBR. Good articles as well. Be sure to check it out. Let's dive right in. Here we go. First game up we got is going to be Charlotte and New York. Right now, oddsmakers have it at 211.5, and that is a lot of points, and I'm going to go under the total on Charlotte and New York. Let me arrange my papers here. Right now, we got Charlotte averaging 105.4 points per game. New York is averaging 102.7 points per game. Now, New York is allowing 105.9 points per game. That's not good, while Charlotte allowing 102.8 points per game. Now, we get into their attempts. Charlotte's pushing some tempo at 86.3 per contest, and then you got New York. They're getting up 87.9. That's a lot. That ranks 5th in the league. Charlotte, they're allowing tempo as well at 87.9, and New York, they're also allowing a bit of tempo at 85. That's about middle of the league. The reason why I like the under on this, first of all, 211.5 is a lot of points. Defensively, percentage-wise, they've both been, New York has actually been pretty decent. So let's take a look. Right now, we got Charlotte allowing opponents to shoot just 44% from the floor. That ranks 11th in the league. That's not bad. And then you got New York. They're allowing opponents to shoot just 45%. That's not great. That's not great, but that's not horrible either for this type of total. As well, we got some really interesting numbers here. Charlotte's been really good at defending the paint, allowing just 39 points in that area. That ranks in like the top 5 of the league. And New York, although they are pushing a little bit of tempo, they're not that great of a shooting team. I mean, overall, they're shooting, just 45%. So they're giving up 45%. They're shooting 45%. That ranks about 10th in the league. That's not bad. That's not bad. They are trying to get up and down a little bit, but recently it seems like they are playing a bit better defense. I mean, look, their game versus Portland, 107-103, and Portland goes way fast and is right now the worst defense in the NBA. So I see something even less than that. What this reminds me of actually is when they played Detroit. Charlotte reminds me a lot of Detroit. I think they run a lot of similar stuff, and that game was 105-102. So I think there's some value there on that 211.5. Steve Clifford's doing a good job with that Charlotte team. Tough game the other night versus San Antonio. But at the end, I think this is too much. I think we're going to see somewhere, maybe around 205, maybe even up to like 208. I don't think they're going to get to the 211.5. That's a lot of points. They're going to have to be really efficient on the night. And right now in the numbers, Charlotte, they're shooting just under 44% from the floor. New York, not a really great three-point shooting team at around 34%. So I think this is going to stay under the total. I don't think they're going to get up and down. Charlotte, really good at moving the ball around the perimeter, but New York, they're allowing just 20 assists per game. They're ranked 6th in the league, surprisingly so. So, I don't think they're going to get there. 211.5, I think that's just too much. So I'm going to go under the total with Charlotte and New York. Next one up, if you like defense, you should like this one. We got Atlanta and Utah, and that's at 195.5, and I'm going to go under the 195.5. Now, Utah's starting to come around defensively. And you look at their last few games, we're starting to see that. And I think we're going to see that again tonight against an Atlanta team that also plays good defense. Right now, Atlanta, they're averaging 104.4 points per game. Utah, they're only averaging 96.8. That ranks 4th to last in the league. Defensively, though, this is the guts of it. We got Utah allowing just 94.4 points per game. That ranks 1st. Atlanta, they're allowing 98.7. That ranks 7th. Good defenses. And then percentage-wise, I really like them because you got Utah allowing just 43% from the field. That ranks 4th in the league, and that they're going to need to do that because Atlanta's really efficient. They shoot almost 47% from the floor, but they're on the road and they're facing a Utah team that should be able to get enough stops to keep us under this total. As well, we got Utah. They're shooting okay at 45%, but then we got Atlanta allowing just 43% from the floor overall. So, and across the board, Atlanta, they're allowing opponents to shoot just 32.8% from distance. That ranks 3rd in the league. That's some really good defense right there. Utah not as good in defending from beyond the arc, but Atlanta's not lighting anybody up from distance because maybe Korver's getting older. But 33.9%. That ranks 21st in the league. So 195.5. I think that's actually too much. I don't think they're going to get to 190. Tempo-wise, they're not very fast. Atlanta, 83.7 attempts per game. That ranks 23rd in the league. And then you got Utah, 78.6. That's last. So I just don't see them getting up and down. Atlanta will allow some tempo, but I think Utah is going to control it tonight being at home. So I'm going to stay under that 195.5. All right, we got two more up. We got Toronto, Milwaukee. Surprisingly, Milwaukee is actually playing some defense this year. And we'll talk about that right now. So we got 211 set by oddsmakers. I'm going to go under the total with a Toronto team that's not playing well defensively, but I just have an inkling that they are going to start turning things around on that end. They've shown flashes of it, but they've been surprisingly up and down. Last game, they faced a Houston team that's one of the best offensive teams in the NBA as far as efficiency. Milwaukee is not Houston, and I think we're going to see more of a defensive battle here. Maybe a little bit of a turkey hangover as well. So 211, that's too much. Toronto's averaging 108.5 points per game. That's really good. Milwaukee, surprisingly, just 101.7. They usually like to get up and down. Not so much this year. Milwaukee, 102.6 points per game allowed. That ranks 11th in the league. Toronto, 105.3. That ranks 19th. That's not the Raptors. I don't know what's going on with them. I've said that already. Milwaukee, they rank first in the league in opponent three-point shooting percentage at just over 30%. So they're defending the perimeter better than anybody. And their overall opponent shooting percentage, 43.3%. That ranks 6th. So, yeah, they're getting after it on the defensive end. Toronto's been shooting the ball really well at 46%. Milwaukee, not quite as good at 44.6%. But Toronto, they're good defending the perimeter right now, 34.4% on opponent three-point shooting. That ranks 10th. But their other numbers are not as good. Still, when we talk about tempo, I think we're going to get under that 211 unless they're really efficient tonight. Milwaukee's playing better defense. Then you look at Toronto as far as their attempts per game right now. The Raptors are getting up 86 attempts per game, which is pretty decent, but they're allowing just 82.1. That ranks 7th in the league. Then Milwaukee, pretty decent getting up some attempts at 86.2 per game, but they're allowing under 85 and ranked 12th. So if these two teams play defense like I think they can, I believe we'll stay well under this number in what should be a lower scoring affair than oddsmakers have it. The 211 makes sense, but they're both better defensively, and Milwaukee's been playing surprisingly some good defense. So I'm going to go ahead and back under the total in this matchup here with Toronto, Milwaukee, under the 211. All right, last one up, we got New Orleans and Portland. This is going to be a track meet. 219, I'm going over. Their last matchup was 214. That was just, when was that? On the 18th. So just last week. That ended up at 214 points, but Portland shot 37% from the field. That's not them. And they didn't shoot very well from distance either. Right now we got New Orleans. New Orleans is red hot too. They're on a winning streak. They won several in a row. They're averaging 104 points per game, and they're starting to get healthy. So they look out for the Pelicans. Portland, they're averaging 108.9 points per game, but they're allowing 113.4. That ranks last in the NBA. New Orleans, they're allowing 106. That ranks 22nd. Not great. Tempo is really a key factor for me tonight. New Orleans, they're going to go fast. They average about 87 attempts per game. That ranks close to the top 10. Portland, they're allowing over 90. That ranks third to last in the league. And then we got Portland, they're getting up 87 attempts per game. And New Orleans, they're allowing over 89, which ranks 25th in the league. So they're going to allow some tempo. And both these teams can score. They both could shoot. New Orleans, they're shooting 45% from the floor, which is very solid. They're at 50% on their two-point shots. That ranks in the top 10. And then you got Portland, they're shooting over 45% from the floor. They're shooting over 36%, from distance, which ranks 8th. New Orleans, not great defensively. Portland really struggling defensively. This is going to be a track meet. I think they get up and down and get over that 219 handedly from the get-go. Unless, like I mentioned on the other games, unless there's some sort of turkey hangover. All right, quick recap. And I wish you, good luck on these games. We got Charlotte, New York under the 211.5. Atlanta, Utah under the 195.5. Toronto, Milwaukee under the 211. And New Orleans, Portland over the 219. Those are our NBA picks today on the totals. Be sure to check out SBR again for the numbers, all the sportsbook reviews, and I wish you luck on your picks today.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.